Hi everyone, my name is Erik Adler, and today I'd like to talk about the 6th book in the Chronicles of Narnia, which is called The Silver Chair. I have here the omnibus edition with all 7 books in one volume, and I finished reading it, so I will talk about the last book in the series, The Last Battle, in my next video. Now, this book, The Silver Chair, was first published in 1953. And in this book, Eustace Scrubb from The Voyage of the Dawn Treader reappears, and he makes friends at his school, a boarding school, with a girl, Jill Pole, who is bullied by some older boys at the school. And Eustace Scrubb used to bully other children at the school himself before, but he changed due to his experiences in The Voyage of the Dawn Treader in Narnia during his adventures there. So he's a very different boy now, and he sympathizes with Jill and makes friends with her and tells her about Narnia. And at first Jill, of course, doesn't want to believe him, but then she starts believing what he's saying, and Eustace tries to evoke Aslan, to talk to Aslan, to be able to get back to Narnia. And then they both escape from these boys who are bullying Jill, and they try to leave the school through a gate in a stone wall which leads to a moor. And when they finally manage to open this door, they look out into Narnia. And so they come to Narnia, Eustace again and Jill for the first time. Jill then meets Aslan alone. Eustace has fallen down a cliff, and it was actually Jill who was responsible for this because she wasn't careful enough. And Aslan guards a stream, and Jill now is very thirsty and she wants to drink from the stream. And Aslan tells her that she is allowed to drink, and Jill is afraid of Aslan because he's a big, dangerous looking lion. And she asks him not to hurt her, and Aslan says that he cannot promise her that. And this, of course, is a metaphor for Christian faith or religious faith in general, and it's a very interesting scene. And then Aslan sentences, so to speak, Jill to go to Narnia. They are not yet in Narnia, but they are outside Narnia, not far from Narnia, to go to Narnia to find Prince Rilian, who is the son and heir of King Caspian X, who is now an old man. And Prince Rilian has disappeared about 10 years ago. And Aslan tells Jill that it's not sure that she will survive this adventure, which seems fairly harsh actually to a child who was just not careful enough, so that another child fell down a cliff. To sentence such a child to such an adventure, which may cost her, this child, her life, is a fairly harsh treatment, I would say, on Aslan's part towards Jill. They then arrive to Narnia, and they meet with Lumpkin from the book Prince Caspian, the dwarf, who is now an old man, and he is almost deaf. So when people try to talk to him and explain this mission that Eustace and Jill have to find the king's son who has disappeared, he cannot understand them, and it's a very funny scene. And there are also a few other funny scenes, like for example involving the marsh wiggle Puddleglum, who is very pessimistic and doesn't believe that anything can succeed what they are doing. And these scenes are really very funny in the book. I enjoy them a lot, actually. It's a really fun character, this Puddleglum. There are strong Christian themes in the book, like in earlier Narnia books. I already mentioned the stream, which is guarded by Aslan, and Jill wanting to drink from the stream and having to trust in Aslan not wanting to kill and eat her, although she has not been promised by him that he won't do so, which is a metaphor for Christian faith. And there are other metaphors also for Christian faith in the book, and also a very funny satire on atheism, actually, when the children finally arrive in the underworld, the realm of the Green Witch, who is holding Prince Rilian captive, and she denies the existence of the sun. and says that the children imagine the existence of a sun from a lamp. There's a lamp in the room which looks a little bit like a sun. It's yellow and round, and from this existing lamp, the children imagine the existence of a sun, she says. And when they say that they believe in Aslan, the lion, the Green Witch says that they have obviously seen cats and imagined the existence of a lion from these cats, which is a satire on atheism, of course. There's a common argument within atheism which stems from Freud, that humans have imagined God as a father figure from a real father, that is based on the image of a real father, the view of God as the heavenly and all-powerful father. According to the Green Witch, there is no overworld, as she calls it, the world in the light under the sun. There is no Aslan, there is no sky, etc. There is only the underworld or the underland, which is her realm. This is the only existing world she maintains. But then Puddleglum, the marsh wiggle, says he still believes in Aslan, that he exists, and even if he doesn't exist, he still wants to believe in Aslan, because this world of imagination is still more powerful than the real world and makes the real world hollow, he says. Now this is a fairly weak argument, actually, which I would say destroy Lewis's argument against atheism, because as it plays out, belief is not based on truth. It is based on wishful thinking, and I don't think Lewis really thought this through. He wrote a lot of books on Christianity and about Christian faith, but this argument is so weak, and it seems also fairly intellectually dishonest, actually, so it's difficult to take it really seriously. I also have a few remarks on language and style in the book. The book is, like earlier volumes, sometimes a bit repetitive. Lewis, strangely enough, sometimes uses fairly archaic language in the dialogues, but it's not throughout the book, it's just in a few cases, which seems strange, because in other cases he uses a modern language and then he lapses into almost a Shakespearean language, for example, when in a few cases when the prince is talking, and it doesn't fit into the whole of the book, I would say. There are also a few adverbs in the book which are not really necessary, which Lewis should have deleted from his final version of the manuscript. And there's also a change of point of view character a few times. For example, we experienced was Puddleglum, the marsh wiggle, thinks, which takes you out of the story, because Jill is actually the main character, and I think it would have been better if we only had one point of view character, namely Jill, and only experienced the story from her perspective and the others from the outside, because it would have been easier to identify with Jill when reading this story. And now we are, on most occasions, we are Jill, and then we are Eustace, and then we are Puddleglum, and then we are Jill again, and it doesn't really give a coherent reading experience. So what did I think of this book, The Silver Chair? I enjoyed it a lot. It was an exciting story, it was fun to read with fun characters and really good dialogue. The children were fairly well portrayed, I thought. It was an exciting journey through the north of Narnia and through the underworld with different locations than we have experienced in earlier Narnia books. I liked Puddleglum a lot, the marsh wiggle, he was very funny. And I also liked the Christian themes and the discussion of faith in the form of a fantasy story for children. It was very interesting. Although I'm not a Christian myself, I guess I would be considered an atheist myself, but still these arguments also against atheism were very interesting, and I thoroughly enjoyed reading this book. And in my next video I will talk about the last book in the series, The Last Battle, which has even more Christian metaphorics in it, and it's also a very interesting story and about the end of Narnia, and I look forward to discuss it with you.